want to start as we do with all our seminars. Everyone take a nice big breath in and just drop into the space in between the breath. And just hold here. I go over this a lot, and yet to me the reason I go over it a lot is that the more we practice this, the more it becomes a part of our natural response to being here in the body on this planet. For me, when I take the breath in, it's really more like fine-tuning a dial. And you fine-tune, you go this way, the breath is going this way, back and forth. And then you fine-tune it right to that place, and then you just hold. So again, take the breath in, and just stop right at the top. And as I hold this space, the breath keeps going on its own, yet I'm holding this space. And this is so key. This is such a key part to the Stillpoint process. It's when we get to that place of stillpoint, of neutrality, it's cultivating how to steward that. It's kind of like using clay. You're holding clay, and you hold too much and you ruin it. So you just hold it in that place. So right here, I'm holding this in this place right here. And as I'm holding it, literally for me, it feels like I'm being filled in, like this. I've tuned to a station. I've tuned to the neutral state of neutrality. And as I've tuned here, this space is filling in. It's loading, it's filling like a balloon. It's filling in, opening up this space of stillpoint. The more you practice this, for me, this has happened. I just shifted, I dropped into stillpoint. I can tell when this opened, it was opening, and then whoosh, just dropped right in. That right there is the most important part of the Stillpoint process right there. Having the ability in any moment to drop in, to hold, to tune to neutrality, to hold that neutrality so that you feel that this space filling in, this Stillpoint space around the body, this space, to me, this is the envelope of energy that literally guides and governs the human body. And so if the body is stressed and tense and what have you, this energy gets all disheveled and unorganized and incoherent. When we are in the state of neutrality, this space opens, and at a certain point, whoosh, it drops into what we call the quantum field. For me now, I'm literally just resting here in this state of the quantum field. This envelope, nice, strong, surrounds the body. So everyone take a quick look right in the quantum field. Before we shift into lasers, take a quick moment and look around the outside periphery. Every day people look at their computers, the things that are important, their living rooms, their gardens, their desk. Well, every day get in the process of looking at this quantum field. Take a quick scan of the periphery. I often show in our seminars, envision a laser beam, a saber that goes around the outside, of the quantum field, and cut any cords, any blockages, any holes in this quantum field. Just do some house cleaning on this. This is our house for living here on this planet right now. A lot of people, yogis say, people have chakra cords that go between their friends, their loved ones. Blockages, holes, impressions. So I'm just going around, clear any cords, any connections, just dissolve them. Great. Now take a quick scan. In our larger Stillpoint retreats, we spend 2, 3, 4 days really cultivating and looking and practicing at these kinds of tools. For most people, this stuff would sound like nuts. This is nuts. Yet those same people do the same thing in their homes, their living rooms, their computers. They clean it up. They make it look good. They put their friends in they figure out everything and how it's structured. Or in their gardens, they clean up their gardens, make sure it's contained. If it's not contained, the neighbor's weeds come in, the raccoons come in, different things come in. So you have to keep a periphery and contain this space. Now, one more very easy process. With your perception, take a look around right here. Take a quick scan around. See what's going on. What's happening right now with the body? Is there anything happening right here? Are there any injuries? Is there any tension? Is there any stress? I find something right away. Well, go right up to that area. Go right up to that thing and simply say, aloha, welcome. Just welcome it. Don't energize it. Don't heal it. Don't send light. Don't send energy. Just very simply say aloha, welcome, as if it's a long-lost friend, holding something very dear for you. And as soon as I do that, as soon as I welcome it, to me, that thing was going like this. It was a contained thing. I covered this in last week's conference call. If you haven't heard, go and listen. We talk about the 3 states: contraction, unwinding, neutrality. Well, what did we just do here? I went up to that thing, I welcomed it. That thing was contraction. I went up, I welcomed it. Well, what did it do? It started to unwind, unravel. And I'm just holding it now. I'm using that same principle I touched on as we started here today, and I'm holding this thing. I'm just saying, oh, it's like I'm holding it with care. I talk about this in our larger seminars. We have to learn to use our perception. Most people either have something cooking or they go away from it and they avoid it. It's cooking or they go away from it. What we want to do is say, well, wait a minute, those 2 responses aren't effective at all. That's fight or flight. That's just fight or flight. We don't want to do that. If we have a situation we want to go up to and we want to be present with it. We're really talking about being present with things and guiding them. Understanding that the things don't guide us. We guide the things. This is the thing that the human condition has been basically brainwashed. We are here to guide and steward things. We're not here to be stewarded and guided by things, physical, emotional, psychic things, challenges, banking systems, economics, governments. We're not here to be controlled and guided. We are here to steward and guide. That is the human condition in nature. So again, that thing is going like this. Doesn't matter what thing. Could be an injury, could be an emotion. It's going like this. And then right there, I could tell something shifted because my system went into what called Stillpoint response. I took a little sigh, and that thing unwound and whoosh, right here into Stillpoint. And now I'm resting. I'm back here in this state of the quantum field. Again, anyone who was on the conference call, contraction, unwinding, positive, negative, whoosh, neutrality. We had a contraction, we went up to it, unwinding, whoosh, neutrality. We welcomed something through its different states of experience. Great. Now take one more look around. Right here. Look around once more. See this now go around. Is there anything else going on here? Is there a health challenge? Is there an emotional situation? Is there some situation with a loved one or a friend or someone transitioning? And pull it up right into the screen here of the quantum field. Pull up whatever it is. A work situation, a living situation, an old pattern or program from the old season around finances, around how you deal with emotions, whatever. Pull it up right here and simply, pull it up here. Be comfortable pulling something up. Most people aren't comfortable pulling their stuff up, their things up. And so they keep them hidden. And what they don't realize is when they keep them hidden, the universe, they're not hiding from the universe. The universe keeps bringing things to reflect whatever's going on in here. So, pull them up here. Let's pull them up. Let's let them air. Great. As soon as I pull up something. As soon as I pull it up, I simply, it didn't happen naturally. I pulled it up and my system started to unwind. I didn't even welcome it. See, welcoming it, I'm saying welcome it. Yet for me, I don't really say, hi, aloha, welcome. I pull it up and I invite it to do. Once you get comfortable with this, you naturally pull it up and you say, oh, okay, that's there. That's great. Let's dissolve it. That's the natural progression, and it's dissolving. That thing I pulled up around a challenge that I've been dealing with and pull it up, and great. And it's just naturally, We all have challenges. It's not like I sit around here not having any challenges. I just welcome them when they come up. And it dissolves. It's still, now, it pulled it up. It was the contraction. An emotion, a thought can be contraction. A contraction, it's unwinding now. And the unwinding, to me, is a key principle. Is a key principle. Our society is phobic about unwinding. Darkness, death. It's so phobic about anything that starts to unwind. So this thing's unwinding. And right there, I took a little sigh, little breath in, sigh. Whoosh. This thing that I started was here, contraction, unwinding, just dissolved into neutrality. And now I'm back here in the quantum field. This is introspection. You know, every tradition, the Buddhists, every tradition understands how important introspection is. Every day we have to go in here and see what's working, what's not working, and we need to change and grow and dissolve. Practical application of introspection. So I just collapsed two things. You know, my view is, most people go through life collecting one or two things every day. My view is every day I look for at least one moment to collapse, dissolve one or two things. What I mean by things is karma, contraction, physical, emotional, cell memory, thinking, program, dissolve it. If I do every day, and now I'm resting here, and as soon as I rest here, to me, I feel the sacred muscle at the root, at the base of the spine, pulsing. The reason I do this every day, I do the introspection, this work of finding something, dissolving it. If I don't do it, then in my life I have to do thinking and emotions and have that whole trip going on. And to me, every day I want to dissolve that trip and get back here. And when I'm back here, guess what? I'm resting here in Stillpoint. The sacred muscle's going like this. Nice pulse at the base of the sacrum. Goes in and out. See if you notice the entire sacral area. In and out. If you can't notice, if you're not sure you notice, it's all right. I've been doing this for years. Since I was a kid, I've been doing Tai Chi and doing different things to cultivate this. This has been a lifelong journey for me. So if you don't feel anything first go around, that's okay. It's not a big deal. Squeeze the muscle at the base root a little bit. Just squeeze it in a little bit. And then relax it out. Same muscles you go to use the restroom. Everyone can do that. How many of you all go to the restroom? Just squeeze it in. And then drop it out. Relax it out. And now as you squeeze in, this go around, stop right in between, in the middle. And simply hold it. Same principle. What do? We got the base sacred muscle. Most people don't realize it even moves, so that they just it's in contraction. Well, what do? We welcomed it. We unwound it. It started to unwind. Positive, negative, unwinding. Now, drop it into neutrality. Same principle. Anyone who didn't listen to last week's conference call, go back and listen to it, because I qualified contraction, unwinding, neutrality. 3 states of energy in the universe. You see if it works for you. So squeeze and then drop it into that space. When I drop it in this space of neutrality, it starts streaming. Energy starts going through it. The reason I do this constantly is because if I have an issue or an injury and I welcome it, unwind it, dissolve it, then now I feel energy in those areas. Energy now is coming up the spine. This is what we call in our seminars, the first key step in still point is being able to drop into still point and hold. Then the quantum field opens up. In my life, every day I do things to make sure this quantum field. This is how I want to experience this new season. The body is not the experience of the new season. That was the experience of the old season. To me, this subtle body is the experience of the new season. For me, this is how I want to navigate the new season. As a nonlinear conscious being of the universe and beyond. So, energy now coming up the spine. And activation. We call this activation. Energy coming up the spine. By the way, this is what we cover extensively at our retreat. So if you want to really get proficient in this, come to a 3 or 4 day retreat. That's where you can really come away and say, these are tools I can use in every single day of my experience here. Well, this energy comes up, activates up here, what we call ambrosia process, activates for me when this energy comes up. The reason I do this every day and love to activate this energy along the spine is when I do, it opens up this nectar, this amrita, the glands inducing the saliva opening. It puts me into a state of connection, unity, bliss, and an indescribable essence. So every day I have the option. I can hold on to things, or I can carve out space and clear a couple things, whether I do it with perception or the laser, the Wi-Fi, the Stillpoint smoothie, until I start to get here. When I get here, this is why I do this. Those are 3 or 4 easy steps. Stillpoint, quantum field, activation, ambrosia. Easy, 4 things right there. To me, that's the key. And now I'm just dropping here, and we're going to cover more advanced. Every day I clear some things, get this going, and I rest. Now I've done this so much that this process has taken us a little while. When I do it, I go through this really fast. It doesn't take me long to get here and to start. Once this opens, the next key for me is opening up the lotus. The lotus, and we're not going to touch too much on that. Opening up this lotus. All yogis, traditions refer to the lotus as a state of opening into universal consciousness and all consciousness and beyond. All right, that is the Stillpoint process, and thank you all for tuning in and being here.